The money went missing sometime between dessert and coffee. That was how it was framed, at least, like a mystery that needed solving quickly, before it spoiled the evening completely. My mother stood at the head of the table, one hand braced against the chair, the other pointing with certainty she hadn't earned. He took it, she said, eyes locked on my son. Who else could have done? Room didn't erupt, it leaned toward the accusation, toward the simplest answer. My sister didn't even hesitate. I saw him earlier, she said. He was looking around the safe. Lurking, the word stuck sharp and ugly. My son was standing beside me, still clutching a half-finished glass of soda. He froze, eyes wide, then crumpled inward like something had knocked the air out of him. His face flushed, tears spilling before he could stop them. I didn't, he said. I didn't touch it. I felt the surge immediately, the heat behind my eyes, the pressure in my chest. Every instinct screamed to speak, to demand proof, to tear the story apart before it hardened. But I didn't say anything, I watched the room instead. My mother's mouth tightened, already rehearsing disappointment. My sister crossed her arms, satisfied. A few relatives avoided looking at my son altogether, as if guilt were contagious, and my sister's husband, Mark, sat very still. That was when I knew. I reached down and rested a hand on my son's shoulder. Not to restrain him, to ground him. He leaned into me, shaking. I want to go home, he whispered. Soon, I said quietly. You're okay. Then I reached into my bag. The hard drive was small, unremarkable, black, no label. I set it on the table and slid it forward until it stopped in front of Mark. The sound it made, plastic against wood, was the loudest thing in the room. What's that? My sister asked, irritation creeping into her voice. I still didn't answer. Mark stared at the drive like it might move on its own. You said the money was taken from the safe, I said finally, calm enough to surprise even myself. Right. Yes, my mother snapped. That's what I said. And you're sure it happened tonight? Obviously. I turned to Mark. You installed the security system last year. You mentioned it records motion automatically. My sister scoffed. Are you seriously? Can you play? I asked him. 5 seconds passed. 10, Mark swallowed. Yeah. I guess. He stood, slowly, like standing might set something off. Plugged the hard drive into the laptop he'd brought for work. His hands weren't shaking, exactly. But they weren't steady either. No one spoke while the footage loaded. The room felt smaller. The air thicker. My son's crying softened into quiet hiccups as he watched Mark's screen instead of the faces around him. The video started, time-stamped. Grainy but clear enough. The safe was visible in the corner of my parents' office. Closed, still. Then the door opened. Mark stepped into frame. No one breathed. He moved quickly, practice. Opened the safe. Counted the money. Slid it into an envelope. Checked his phone. Left. The video ended. For a moment, nothing happened at all. It was as if the house itself was buffering. Then my sister laughed. Once sharp, debelieving, that's not this must be old. Or edited. Or, it's tonight. Mark said. His voice was flat. Almost clinical. I took it. My mother's fork clattered onto her plate. My sister turned to him, eyes wild. Why would you say that? He didn't look at her. He looked at me. I thought I could replace it before anyone noticed, he said. I didn't think. You didn't think you'd get caught. My mother said faintly. The accusation in the room shifted shape. No longer convenient. No longer aimed downward. I stood then, not triumphantly. Not loudly. I took my son's hand and pulled him gently to his feet. We're leaving. Again. This time, no one argued. As we walked toward the door, my sister finally found her voice. Wet. This doesn't mean he shouldn't have accused. I turned back once. You watched my child cry, I said. You didn't ask a single question first. She opened her mouth. Closed it. Outside, the night air felt cool and clean. My son wiped his face on his sleeve. Did I do something wrong? He asked again. No, I said. You did everything right. In the car, he leaned his head against the window, exhausted. The streetlights slid past like commas, not endings. We didn't talk about the money again that night. Or the family. Or what would happen next. Some things don't need commentary. Just distance. Later I received messages. Apologies. Explanations, requests to talk it through. I haven't answered yet. Truth doesn't always need volume. Sometimes it just needs patience, and a record of what really happened when no one thought it mattered. And sometimes, silence is the strongest thing you can bring into a room that's already decided who you are.